In sports, we train to bounce back, to push through pain, to fight for the win. But what happens when the pain won't go away? That was us. Our athlete had been fouled during a game. Nothing unusual, part of the game, right? But this time, it hurt more than it should have. We didn't know it then, but that foul revealed something we would have never seen on our own, or at least not until it was much bigger. Because of that injury, doctors ordered x-rays. And what they found had nothing to do with the foul and everything to do with what was already happening inside. An internal issue, one that needed immediate medical attention. Eventually, it required surgery. We spent time in a children's hospital where we met other families, carrying their own story, their own challenges. And suddenly, that foul didn't seem so unfair anymore, because we realized it had revealed a problem we might never have known about in time. We were grateful that that pain pointed to something deeper. I'll never forget the family who showed up during the surgery. We had met them through sports. They came, sat with us, and prayed with us. And when that fear was at its highest, we experienced the best hug you could ever receive. We'll never forget that act of kindness. Sometimes failure doesn't make sense. Sometimes the pain feels unfair, but sometimes it reveals what matters most. Look, there's nothing I can say to make failure or injury feel better when it happens, because there are moments in sport that are just not fair. Moments where your heart breaks for your athlete. Moments where all you can do is show up and hold their hand. But here's what I've learned. Sport is short. The meet ends, the race is over, the game is won or lost. But life goes on. And another opportunity comes to compete again, to grow again, to become stronger from the inside out. That's the gift of sport. Not the scoreboard, not the highlights, but the chance to face adversity and come back with character. So if you're walking through a challenge, a failure, or pain right now, remember, this is not the end. This is the beginning of something deeper. This is a character advantage. Hi. This is Coach Dan Williams with Character Advantage, where we believe your greatest edge isn't just talent, it's character. If you haven't already joined this channel, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave a comment below. Today, I want to talk to you, the parent, because while your motivation might be good, your heart is in the right place, the outcome of that motivation doesn't always land the way you hope. Let me explain. You get frustrated when your child makes a mistake because you care. That emotion, it shows you're invested. But here's what a coach sees. They're not looking for a player who never messes up. They're looking for one who can mess up and bounce back. That fearless one, the one who recovers. You urge your athlete to fix their weaknesses, and that's good. But if the motivation is just to keep up, it's not the most effective. Great coaches, they focus on your athlete's strengths. They accept weakness in light of what the athlete brings to the table. The greater the strength, the more forgiving the weakness. So here's the truth. Good motivation doesn't always equal great outcomes. Because you see, strength grows through resistance. Every path then should have obstacles. That's why your athlete needs more than a map, they need a compass. Not to show them how to avoid adversity, but to equip them to go through it, to persevere. If you want to help your athlete become fearless, there is a key. To become fearless, they need humility. Now, here's a story I once heard about being fearless, and one I love to tell. It's about a point guard who made a crucial mistake in a very big playoff game. Turned the ball over, lost by one. Everyone was silent. But instead of hiding, he stood up and said, "That's on me. I tried to be the hero. I should have trusted the team." That's humility. And that's what made him fearless. Because when you're not afraid to admit mistakes, you're not afraid to make bold plays. You don't protect your ego, you play for the mission. Fearless athletes aren't perfect. They're honest. And that honesty, that's what sets them free. Now parents, you play a role in shaping that mindset. Not just by what you say, but by what you model. So let's guide our athletes to not just chase success, but to grow from every step of the journey. Because in the end, character is the real advantage.